With over 30 years of experience in wealth planning and a lifetime of involvement in harness racing, Matt Franklin at Wire to Wire Wealth can help you build a financial plan that addresses the unique circumstances of those involved in the horse racing industry. Whether you are investing to build wealth, protect your family, or preserve your assets, Matt at Wire to Wire Wealth will work with you through the wealth planning process from
Winback Farm, Delaware's #1 breeder, is home to outstanding stallions, including EL Platinum, who is a proven sire, multiple DSBF final winners. Also new in 2025 is Thunderously, a half-brother to O'Brien Award winner Resolve. Also standing is world champion He's Watching, winner of the Meadowlands Pace in 146-4. Nutcracker Sweet, half-brother to the award-winning Sweet Blue, and full brother to twice-millionaire Bittersweet, and Top Flight Angel, who has multiple stakes wins, including the prestigious Yonkers Trot. Also standing, Classic Card Shark and Sports Column. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
Chris, we meet again here at Spring Garden Ranch. You had another fabulous year. Ohio, Kentucky, you've really expanded even more so into Kentucky this previous year.
Yeah, it makes sense for me. I'm not too far from there. The money's good, and I'm not able to buy the really expensive horses down there. But it's become a very versatile program. You can race at different levels there.
You did take advantage of that, even racing at some of the fairs on their program that are going for good money.
Yeah, you can't really beat it. 12,000 a race or so, 9,000, 12,000, and you don't have to race them that hard. I had some that were just mediocre horses as 2-year-olds, and they came back and made a lot of money on the Kentucky fairs.
Ohio is, of course, your home and your forte. Just looking at the list of some of your achievements, you are a Kaltenbach Award winner in 2017. You were runner-up in 19, 20, 21, 23. You finished third. That is for the most stakes wins in Ohio, as well as at USHWA 2015 Winner Circle Awards. You have over $34 million made. Where do you see your career going in the next 5 to 10 years?
I'd like to keep going forward. I haven't really come up with a really big time horse race on the big time level. And someday I'd like to have one of those. Like a real horse that people remember. But I feel really focused this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
You have big numbers every year, and you have the space for it with the farms and the different training centers. How do you think that benefits you?
Well, yeah, I've tailored everything to working in Ohio. My track is a small track there, and they learn to trot the turns, and everything's set up here to bring them back as good 3-year-olds. So.
Here you're one of the few trainers that actually utilize the half-mile track because you will be racing on them, as well as a sand track.
Yeah, it's good to teach them a little bit early on the half, but the sand track is our own thing. I bring my 3-year-olds back, and I spend a lot of time on the sand track with them.
Let's talk about some of your purchases. The filly Love You Gaga, a Captain Corey, $45,000 yearling purchase from Lexington.
Yeah, she's out of a mare that I raced named Aunt Rose, so we actually raised her. And I liked her a lot, so I was, determined to at least protect her a while. And the last bid I was placing on her is what I purchased her for.
Moving on to endurance, another Captain Corey, first crop, $14,000 at Harrisburg.
Yeah, I liked him because he's out of Triumphant Caviar's family, which has been one of my, that horse has done so much for me. And then also my good horse this year, Spanzano, was from the family. So I was really attracted to the pedigree. to start with, and I'm attracted to Captain Corey. I like the pacing blood and the pedigree. And so far, both these Captain Corys I have been training really well. They're really nice, fluid horses, and they want to do it.
We've heard that so often. You have tons of horses here in training, but you chose Captain Corys to be featured. Everyone else is trying to pick, and we're seeing on their list Captain Corys. What about that bloodline? When you say the pacing in the bloodline, what draws you to that, and what are you expecting to see from these 2-year-olds?
Well, I'm attracted to it because I think that, you're bringing diversity into the pedigree, and that seems to help them go further. When you do that.
In their gait, is their gait any different than the other trotters that you've had before, or are you saying just similar in every way?
I'm amazed how clean they've been. They were pretty natural too, and maybe the pacers put a little more length into them, but no, they trot like you would want a trotter to trot right now.
Kira, out of Enterprise, out of Kikimora, a homebred.
Yeah, she was bred by partners of mine, Sandra Burnett. I owned Kikimora with her, and she was a fantastic racehorse for me. She was 2-year-old filly trotter of the year in Ohio. She was by Triumphant Caviar. So I really like the dam side a lot. I am not a fan of Enterprise, so it's a little surprising for me to include her, but she couldn't be doing any better right now.
It is a compliment. Sandra Burnett has been in the business for so many years, and she trusts you with her horses.
Yeah, we've had a number of nice horses together over the last 10 years or so.
Moving on to Range the Wish, an in-range out of I Am Spike's Wish, $18,000 Buckeye sale purchase.
Yeah, I looked at a lot of the in-ranges, and what worried me about them is they looked like they were ready to race when they went to the sale. And they were all really natural horses, so that part attracted me. But I was looking for one with a substantial body. And, it makes sense. She's out of a Cadabra mare. They usually have a lot more body to them. And this filly has a nice body to her, and she is perfect gaited, quick, everything you'd want right now.
Kent is a Love You colt, $32,000 Lexington purchase.
Yeah, I was, I like the French breeding some, and, I've never had a Love You before, but I knew that the cross was good with a Muscle Hill mare, and the mare had already produced a 51 trotter by Love You, so it was pretty obvious, and I thought I got him for a pretty reasonable price, $32,000.
Water Slider, Ready for Money, another first-year crop, $37,000 at Lexington. Tell us about this colt.
He's just got a nice big gait on him. I wouldn't say he's as focused as some of the others I've put on the list, but he shows me potential. I wanted to put a Ready for Money on there. I bought 4 of them, and they did not break good. Their heads, their mouths, they're very, very anxious, and they throw their head a lot and stuff like that. But they've kind of gravitated towards the middle of the group since I broke them. So I think he is going to be a nice sire. They've got good body and good gaits to him, so I think it'll work out all right for him.
Anyone who's watching this to learn about the breaking process and the things that you did, can you explain how you dealt with those issues, what you did equipment-wise?
We've had to do different things with a lot of them. The major piece of equipment that we removed, though, was testicles. So
Yes.
I cut all 3 of my colts, and they got much better when we did that. I've got one we had to put in a Crit Davis, one we had to put in an open bridle, but they are settling down and they're getting easier to drive.
Criterion, a Centurion ATM homebred.
Yeah, he's out of a Cantab Hall mare that I raced a few years ago, named Keystone Abbey, and she was not the fastest horse in the world, but she was great gaited, and she won a lot of races, just smart. She was always in the game. And this is a really nice horse. He's not overly motivated, but he will blast right off the back of the pack and come home good, and he's really good gaited. I like Centurion ATM. He's a full brother to Triumphant Caviar. He hasn't got much support yet, but from what I've seen, he's going to throw some nice horses.
Buckeye Triumphs is actually by Triumphant Caviar. You gave $120,000 at the Ohio selected sale for this colt.
Yes, this is actually one that I raced the mother, and I still owned a piece of this horse when it went through the sale. And there was a lot of attention on this horse. I never imagined I'd have to pay that kind of money for a Triumphant Caviar. I used to buy him for $15,000, $20,000, but he's been a great sire, and this horse seemed to be good on every level at the sale. And so far he's training good. He does it very easy.
You're a trainer that's known for thinking outside the box when selecting yearlings as well as training them. What led you to be more open-minded?
I think I've always had luck buying horses for not very much money. You know, of course it's a numbers game, but so many of my good horses haven't cost much. They've stood bad. You know, you learn what you can accept. There's things that I don't accept when I'm buying yearlings, but you know, I'm pretty forgiving on conformation, and also I've seen so many of my good horses have come from unpopular stallions. You know, but the dam is very important to me. It's got to be a dam that I know can produce a good horse. And if you look at what I'm training this year, I mean, 5 of them are by Muscle Up the Goal, which nobody's ever heard of, really. But they're out of mares that I liked, and I bred myself, and they train well, you know. So that's what I look for, is horses that train good.
One of the things, a lot of times you see people bring horses out to train and they're jogging 3 laps and then turning. You do it differently. You bring them out from the barn. They start off going the right way. You're teaching them passing, things like that. Then you're going your mile.
Yeah, we do that for a long time. You know, I think it leads to better manners, you know, in their racing. And, you know, you like repeat, and hopefully they've got it all set when it comes down to it. Eventually I'll stop doing that, but you know, until I start going 2 trips, I like to do that. I like to get a little work into them, get them settled down, and then start my mile. So.
They're starting to learn to be racehorses at this point. You'll soon head out of here. What will it look like from this point up until your first baby race?
I hope to keep my 2-year-olds here till the 1st of May and have them probably around 210 when they go north. Then, you know, it becomes, you know, you'll lose 3-4 weeks when you get up there trying to get them to learn how to go fast around the small track, you know. And which, I mean, Delaware's a great track, but it's not, the turns are different, you know. And with trotters, they have to relearn a lot, you know. You get occasionally you get one that just goes right on, but with the types that I race, it's a lot of work in the month of June.
So is that slowing down times, just giving them, you know, more jog miles?
I'll back them up a little bit, go slow miles on my farm track. Once they've figured out my farm track, then we're okay.
So now we're getting ready to go into the baby race. What is the expectations from that first baby race?
I try not to have too many expectations. Even the ones that I like a lot, they'll go all the way there good, and then they hit a wall. And you can't. I guess the first qualifier tells you a lot, because some of them will get tired, and some of them will come home in 28 and a piece, and those are the ones that you put in the sire stakes. So.
What advice do you have for anyone who's interested in pursuing harness racing?
To me, you know, all my success came from taking a chance on young horses. You know, people like to go into the race horses, but it's really tough. It's really tough to get started. One good young horse can pave your way, you know, so that's what I would focus on.
You really are creating the next generation of racehorses for years to come. Do you ever think about that when you're dealing with teaching them patience and their gait and things like that?
Yeah, I was pretty proud this year in the Age Sire Stakes in Ohio. There were only 5 horses entered in it, but 4 of them were ones that I still had or I had at one point and sold. So I think that we are generating horses in the barn that can keep racing and keep making money over the years.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day today. It was great seeing your horses train, and I appreciate it and wish you all the luck in 2025.
Thank you.